Coming up, where a mass vaccination site is opening to replace Fenway Park.
And a bill the House of Representatives is passing that will change voting in the United States.
Welcome to WEBN News. I'm Claire Overton.
And I'm Kerrigan Knowles. We begin with tonight's top stories.
Governor Charlie Baker announced that the Fenway Park vaccination site will close March 27th. If you have yet to receive your vaccination, don't panic. A new location will open at the Heinz Convention Center and will begin accepting appointments on March 18th. Approximately 1,500 people will be vaccinated each day, equaling the Fenway location.
The House of Representatives is passing a bill to modernize America's voting systems. The bill, called the For the People Act, creates automatic voter registration across the country. It also allows the formerly incarcerated to cast a ballot. The bill prevents Congress members from serving on corporate boards and requires presidents to release their tax returns. The bill comes after former President Trump refused to release his tax returns while in office.
The Massachusetts Department of Public Health reported over 553,000 total statewide COVID-19 cases. On Monday, 26 deaths brought the state total to over 15,000. Now in phase 2 of vaccination plan, over 547,000 residents have received both doses, with more ready to be administered.
Boston is preparing for restaurants to return to outdoor dining at the beginning of April. Mayor Marty Walsh announced in a press conference the city is returning to the program adopted last year, which allows any restaurant in the city to add outdoor seating. This is to prevent further spread of the coronavirus. Restaurants and bars will soon have no capacity restrictions, meaning outdoor seating will be a vital part of social distancing and safety guidelines. With restaurants opening their outdoor tables up again soon, the weather is on everyone's mind. How's it looking, Jillian?
Well, Kerrigan, it's a sunny day here in Boston with temperatures in the mid-30s and a bit of a wind chill. However, it's important to enjoy the nice weather while it lasts, because tomorrow we can expect partly cloudy conditions with a high of 31 and a low of 19 in the early morning. So be sure to bundle up on your way to work, class, or wherever your Friday takes you. Now heading into the weekend, Saturday will be mostly sunny with a high of 35 degrees and a low of 17. Now taking a look at Sunday, conditions will be similar to today, with sunny skies and temperatures in the mid-30s. Although Sunday won't be as windy, you should use this day to get outside and spend time with your loved ones, while following COVID-19 regulations, of course. Next week, we're anticipating warmer weather with mostly clear skies and temperatures in the 40s on Monday. Then on Tuesday, we'll see the toastiest temperatures yet, with a high of 51 and a low of 34. I, for one, am looking forward to some sun. That's all for weather this week. Back to you, Kerrigan and Claire.
Thanks, Jillian. After 18 years in office, Joe Curtatone will not run for re-election. The Somerville mayor said, quote, "I will be hard at work for you until my last day on the job." Curtatone led the city through the pandemic with guidelines stricter than most, oftentimes criticizing how Massachusetts has handled it. He has not said anything about future plans, but there is speculation he might join for the race for governor. Tensions are still high in Washington after January 6th attack on our Capitol. Our political correspondent Anthony Labruto has an update on how it affected security today.
Thanks, Claire. U.S. Capitol Police are investigating threats made by right-wing militia groups seeking to breach Congress again on March 4th. The date is significant for conspiracy theorists who believe that former President Trump will reassume the presidency. Until 1933, presidents were inaugurated on March 4th. Capitol Police released a statement saying that they are, quote, "working with our local, state, and federal partners to stop any potential threats of violence to the Capitol," end quote. The House Oversight Committee has begun an investigation into the Electric Reliability Council of Texas. The agency in charge of the Texas power grid has until March 17th to respond to requested documents regarding its preparedness for winter weather. Lawmakers also want information regarding the decisions for implementing blackouts and the distribution of electrical supplies in South Central Texas. At least 49 Texans have died as a result of the winter power outage. House lawmakers passed the George Floyd Justice and Policing Act late Wednesday. The police reform bill bans chokeholds and no-knock warrants. Additionally, the bill creates a national police misconduct registry to improve transparency among police departments. It would also require state governments to turn over information on the use of force by race, religion, and age. The bill now heads to the Senate for further debate. Back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Anthony. After the break, what the CDC is saying about the COVID-19 vaccine and where doses were delivered today here in Boston. Stay with us.
When we adopt a shelter pet, we discover they're a unique mix of all kinds of things.
There it is. Keep going with it. Leo.
They're a little bit of a lot of things, but they're all pure love.
Welcome back. Tufts Medical Center and Boston Medical Center are the first two hospitals in Boston to receive the newly approved Johnson & Johnson vaccine. Tufts expects the first round of shots to be administered on Thursday, while Boston Medical Center is planning to begin administration later in the week. This is the first single-dose vaccine to be approved. Nearly 4 million doses of the vaccine were shipped out this week across the country, and another 16 million doses are expected to be out by the end of March.
The CDC announced on Monday that 10% of the U.S. population has received both doses of the COVID-19 vaccine. The U.S. saw record levels of daily vaccinations this past weekend as new variants spread. The Biden administration announced they expect nearly 4 million doses of the single-dose Johnson & Johnson vaccine to be distributed this week. In Massachusetts, just under 9% of residents are fully vaccinated.
Texas Governor Greg Abbott announced Tuesday he will be lifting the mask mandates throughout the state. He also stated restaurants will be able to open to 100% capacity beginning March 10th. Mississippi State Governor Tate Reeves also announced the mask mandate will be lifted and businesses can reopen at 100% capacity as of Wednesday. Both governors cited the COVID vaccine distribution and lowering of cases and death rates as reasoning for their decision. The reopening plans and reversal of the mask mandate is heavily warned against by health officials. Protests in Myanmar have been happening for over a month now. Our international correspondent Carly Bronkema has the latest.
Well, Kerrigan, tensions are still high in Myanmar. Security forces killed at least 34 protesters throughout the country on Wednesday alone. Military forces shot people with projectiles from slingshots and beat people with batons. Protests began over a month ago when the military took control after the National League of Democracy won the general election. The armed forces stood with the opposition party and have since arrested several members of the NLD. Resistance efforts in the country have included labor strikes, a red ribbon campaign, and a military boycott campaign. The U.S. and several European countries have condemned the coup. The White House has sanctioned the military regime in Myanmar. This ensures the generals can't access United States assets, which are valued at around $1 billion. However, the selective sanctions ensure healthcare and civil groups are still accessible to citizens. Back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Carly. Coming up, an update on Andrew Cuomo's response to sexual harassment allegations. Don't go anywhere.
When I was your age, I was just like you, fascinated by stars. But now I get to search for life in the universe. And who knows, maybe life is looking for us too.
So we're like aliens to them?
Yeah. Does anyone want to be a scientist now?
I do.
Awesome. We need more girls in STEM.
Maybe we can find aliens.
A third woman accused New York Governor Andrew Cuomo of sexual harassment. In an interview with the New York Times, Anna Rutsch described when she first met Cuomo at a wedding in 2019, and he made unwanted physical advances towards her. Rutsch's account follows the accusations of two former aides of Cuomo's, who claim they were sexually harassed in the workplace. A spokesman for Cuomo did not directly address the new allegations by Rutsch. He instead referred to a statement made on Sunday where Cuomo acknowledges his actions could, quote, have been misinterpreted as unwanted flirtation. The governor himself has not said anything specific to Rutsch's accusation.
6 Dr. Seuss books will stop being published due to racist and insensitive imagery. Schools have complained that some of the books include racist propaganda and harmful stereotypes. Other books, including Cat in the Hat, are continuing to be published despite criticism. But Dr. Seuss Enterprises said they are committed to listening and will continue to review their entire profile. We now have our sports correspondent Ben Aliber, who has all the details on a shocking change in the NFL.
Thanks, Claire. That's right. Defensive end J.J. Watt sent the football world into a frenzy Monday with the tweet saying, "Source me." The three-time Defensive Player of the Year shocked fans by signing a 2-year, $31 million deal with the Arizona Cardinals. Watt has spent the last 10 seasons with his draft team of Houston, where he amassed 101 sacks, 25 forced fumbles, 2 interceptions, and 2 touchdowns. The Cardinals have announced that Watt will be wearing his jersey number of 99. Catalan police raided the stadium of FC Barcelona Monday. The former club president, current club CEO, club of head legal services, and one other person were arrested for financial crimes. The raid comes 1 week before the next president was to be selected. There is an investigation underway and more information is to be continued and released. The Boston Bruins took on the Washington Capitals Wednesday in a heated game that went into a shootout. The Bruins were unable to grab the win and subsequently dropped to third in the division. The game was filled with emotion, though, as former Bruins captain and legend Zdeno Chara returned to the Garden Ice for the first time since leaving in free agency. That's all the time we have this week for sports. Back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Ben. For those wondering what life is really like at Buckingham Palace, our entertainment correspondent Wellesley Days has all the details on the interview you need to watch this weekend. Wesley?
Well, thank you, Kerrigan, and good evening, everyone. For TV watchers, Sunday is going to be a big night, and I've got 3 big reasons why. You got Oprah, Meghan, and Harry. In their first U.S. television interview documenting their time as royals, Prince Harry and wife Meghan Markle sit down with the daytime queen for a no-holds-barred conversation. In teases for the upcoming sit-down, viewers can see the duo discussing their concerns about staying in Buckingham Palace, Prince Harry's fear of isolation, and a cliffhanger moment where Oprah asked Meghan if she chose to be silent or if royal officials chose it for her. Now, Buckingham Palace has yet to release an official statement about the interview. However, palace officials are in the process of investigating recent claims from former staffers that the former Duchess of Sussex bullied members of her royal staff. Now, those anxious for more, I know I am, will have the opportunity to hear from the couple this Sunday, starting at 8 p.m. on CBS. Claire and Kerrigan, will you be tuning in? Back to you, ladies.
Thank you, Wesley. I'll definitely be tuning in. Hundreds of turtles were returned to the Gulf of Mexico after facing the recent winter storm in Texas. Local sea turtle rescue shelter, Sea Turtle Incorporated, lost power during the cold front and wasn't able to keep the water temperature regulated. Because of this, thousands of sea turtles around South Padre Island and the Gulf were being cold stunned. This means the turtles entered a comatose state brought on by the freezing water. Volunteer rescue efforts brought more than 5,000 turtles to makeshift hospitals. Now, turtles are in the process of being released back into the Gulf with the help of these volunteers.
Thank you for tuning in to WEBN General News.
For more, please visit our website, WEBN.TV, and check us out on YouTube. Have a good night.